So just a quick look at Ether. It finally, after so many months, finally started to test this historical downtrend. Now, this is a very dubiously placed downtrend. If we go to the monthly, I guess this is where we get the angle from on this current downtrend. I mean, this could even actually be drawn a little bit sharper. Like it could probably be even drawn something like that. Um, so yeah, I don't really know where that angle should be placed, but the fact is, Ethereum has finally reached the range where it is testing these historic downtrends. It has now flipped this trend line, or this former line of resistance, major resistance actually, because if we zoom in here on the weekly, it contended with this downtrend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th week that it took us to break through this downtrend. It kept trying, and then it finally did it on the day that the SEC announces the Bitcoin ETFs. Now, there's a lot of talk about Ethereum grinding into the summer when the SEC is supposed to be looking at an Ethereum ETF. That would be unbelievable. Definitely hoping that happens because it would only be incredibly bullish for the asset. But, just to look at the chart here a little bit, there's not really much to say because again, I'm starting this YouTube channel at a moment in time where there is so much uncertainty surrounding what's going to happen with the space because of the amount of cash that is going to be coming in off the sideline and into the space. So projecting out what's going to happen is tough. It might be more of a factor of timing anymore. It's not that these assets are not going to go to certain levels. It's just how quickly now. Like how quickly do we create some new all-time highs in some of these things? But Ethereum is my largest holding personally. I currently hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. Ether, I think, comprises, I believe it's 40% of my portfolio, and then almost equal amounts of Bitcoin and Chainlink. So I've been a major fan of Ethereum for a very long time. Not to go too far in it because I'd like to do a separate video on it at some point very soon, but I sort of view Ethereum as if you were able to essentially purchase stock in the internet back in, like, say, 1996. I'm not talking about internet companies like AOL or something like that. Like I'm not talking about purchasing stock in internet companies. I'm saying, like, if there was a way to purchase internet as a stock, that's essentially what Ethereum is. Ethereum is, in layman's terms, the platform in which a lot of blockchain and cryptocurrency projects are built upon. So it's essentially Ethereum is, as an analogy, sort of the internet of the cryptocurrency space, or one of the internets. There are numerous platforms much like Ethereum. Some would argue much better and faster than Ethereum, but if we want to make that argument, for anyone who's over the age of 35 would probably understand that Sony's Betamax format was far superior than the VHS format, but VHS won out, and Betamax was sort of lost to the history books. But everyone knows what a VHS tape is, or at least anyone above a certain age. So it's not necessarily that Ethereum maybe has the best infrastructure, but it certainly has the most widely used and adopted. And there is something to be said about first movers in the space, especially with crypto. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I'm very bullish on Ethereum. Just sort of looking at what is possible here with the technical analysis, it's above this trend line. Again, the trend line is extremely dubious. Maybe this is where I'm getting the angle from, is the daily. That must be where I drew my resistance line from, because it touches two lines here and then essentially touched a third here today. It got above this line and sort of came down and briefly and almost retested it. I could probably move that line up to make it a little bit more perfect. But yeah, if it hangs above these levels and confirms tomorrow's candle above, 25.60 or somewhere in there, that would be a good sign. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay there. But I would like to see Ethereum actually continue grinding and at least try to test this 2,800 level, because I think that would absolutely confirm the breakout. And this range right here would essentially become, let's see, where's the line? Horizontal line. Let's see. Yeah, somewhere right in there. I think this will now essentially become support, this 2,500 range. As long as we stay above here, if it runs a little bit higher, maybe tries to test 3,000. I don't think it's going to blow through 3,000 or anything like that. But if it tests this range, I think, I don't know that we'll ever see a sub $2,500 Ethereum ever again. Anything's possible, but at least not for a while. So yeah, just looking at how these fib levels are lining up, the Fibonacci retracement levels. Actually, kind of redraw this just slightly so that's a little bit better lined up. But yeah, the Fibonacci levels are lining up pretty good. It contended with this 382 range for quite a while before breaking through. That was partially why it struggled so much with this downtrend line, because whenever a downtrend line coincides with a Fibonacci level, it usually takes quite a bit of work to break through that, but we finally did. And that's why I kind of think it sort of runs up to about the high 2,800s, maybe even overshoots a bit and goes to 29, or just under 3,000, maybe like 2,980, somewhere in there. I could see it running up to there, but then sort of coming back down and retesting that 2,600 level. But yeah, I think I have to agree with a lot of the, financial and crypto influencers and pundits that I've been reading and seeing on TV. CNBC is starting to talk a lot more and more about crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular. And there are a lot of, traditional money managers and, mutual fund people who are saying like Ethereum is something that they want in their own personal portfolios. And, whenever you're talking about an asset and people hear about it and it piques their interest and someone who's never heard of it looks into it and they're like, even if they just like the look of the chart, that could get them to buy it. So yeah, everything's good right now in the crypto space, and I'm hoping it stays that way for at least the remainder of 2024 into 2025, so that we can hopefully complete this next cycle without any major issues. But again, I think that's our update for Ethereum. Again, just to reiterate, I think we see a run up to about the 2,800 level and then maybe a consolidation period after that. But yeah, that's our, let's run a quick fib retracement on this most recent structure. See where things line up. Yeah, it looks like main levels are about 3,000. I could actually see, you know what? I'm going to leave this on here just to see how things play out, because I could actually see Ethereum running up to this 2,618, which is, well, It actually, I could probably draw this maybe a little bit more accurately just to get an exact number. Let's see. Let's zoom in here. Make sure I have these wicks perfectly encapsulated. Let's see. All right, I think I got it a little bit closer now. If it runs up to the 2618, now it doesn't have to touch that line, but as I was expecting, or I just mentioned that I thought Bitcoin could run to about 3,000. It might not get all the way up to that level. 2980 is, I believe, what I said. I could see it getting to about there and running out of steam. That's what I would like to see, because that would also, more or less confirm 25 or 2600 as support and a consolidation range. So yeah, I'll leave this little fib retracement on it for the next couple of days or weeks to see where things play out. And when we come back for our update, we'll see how it's going. But that's Ethereum. We'll be back soon.